1 year ago, Elliot and I said goodbye to our traveling vagabond adventures and hello to a little home on top of a couple of acres tucked into the Appalachian Mountains. It was a season for us to hibernate and hide away and just put a halt on everything. At that time, things felt pretty bleak. Elliot was feeling the intense stress of meeting our financial needs because it turns out that owning a house and creating a baby is pretty expensive, and I, to be honest, was feeling like really alone and depressed because it turns out being a stay-at-home dad with your family halfway across the country can be pretty isolating. But as time went on and as spring came around, the seeds that were planted in the dark slowly began to bloom.
Have your little embryo picture right here. So here it is.
3 minutes. Okay,
I already see 2 lines.
Oh my god, you shut up! Oh my god. Definitely 2 lines. And everything fell into motion around us, and suddenly we were surrounded by so much life and fertility and vitality, and it was just a very fruitful time. Summer was hot and hopeful and a time for us to just bask in our blessings and jump in wild waters and feel sexy and feel feral and feel alive. And now, with the fall crisp air coming through, it feels like the climax of this chapter in our lives. Our final harvests are upon us, and our flowers are taking their final bow, and we're just weeks away from our baby making her earthside entrance. Everything is about to change, and the potential of things feels so rich. And yeah, we're kind of feeling it all and feeling in love.
Good morning, everyone. I'm planting my last fall crop. I'm going to be planting some frost-tolerant lettuce. It is a more mild climate up here, so the growth season is longer, but by the end of October, most things will be done growing in the garden. Maybe the kale will still be trying to grow, but anyways, seeing the garden as it sort of gets ready to go to sleep for this next season of winter has me really reminiscing on, our first year of growing a garden here. And hold on, I can't multitask. Surface step, 1/8 of an inch. Seed spacing, a group of 3 seeds every 8 inches. Okay, same with these, I'm guessing. Every 8 inches. Yeah, here are the ones we're doing, by the way. And these ones. So I just have been reminiscing on our first year of growing a garden on this land and tending this land and changing this 2 acres from just a field into the garden and the food forest that we're hoping it will become. It's kind of intimidating. It's just a big empty field. So you're like, all right, I guess I'm just gonna start plopping some stuff down here. So you'll notice that the fence around this garden is quite temporary. It's just to keep out the chickens because we weren't sure maybe this garden will get stretched out bigger or even smaller. We imagine having this garden bed, a greenhouse with a garden bed, maybe some fruit trees, and then another garden bed next to it. But we just wanted to make sure we had flexibility as we started to create the layout of the land. 3 seeds every 8 inches. We're gonna do this a little more flexible. I mean, we started early last spring on a sunny day, just taking some branches and some limbs and some tree trunks and some old fencing that was on the land, and we just made a rectangle and started digging, and we dug it out.
We dug out all of the grass that was over here, and we just created a huge rectangle.
We really want to practice mostly no dig methods, but hi Panda. Don't be digging up my seeds though. I see you did that with my radishes. No dig method, but just for getting this garden established. Time was of the essence. Please don't step on there, baby. Oh, ah. Yeah, so we went to a local organic, it's like a all girls camp and they had a lot of organic compost, so we got that for free. We were definitely on a pretty tight budget this winter and spring, so we got pretty scrappy with the materials that we used. So we luckily were able to find most of the compost that we used on the land for free, thanks to that girl's farm. It was a little fresh, meaning it was a little hot, meaning it was animal poop that hadn't totally broken down yet. So we did need to kind of cut it, if you will, with some mushroom compost from a local garden supply store, I suppose. I'm just gonna kind of sprinkle these, 1/8 of an inch. That just makes me think surface. So we're just gonna kind of spread these out. So we cut it, that was a bigger expense. Rosie. And so far the paths, once again, we've kept them pretty temporary. We just use cardboard with some rocks and sticks on top to hold it down as the paths. I eventually imagine using like some beautiful flagstone paths through the garden, even maybe mulch, because mulch breaks down so nicely. But it's been a good garden. I mean, I'd say that a big majority of the things we got out were like things to make herbal teas, lots and lots of flowers, which I'm not upset about. We did a lot of cucumbers, so we got a lot of cucumbers. We pickled a lot of beans and lots of dahlias. The tomatoes didn't do too well. We need to build some trellises this winter, but the soil seems really, really vibrant, and the chickens are making plenty more compost for us for next year. I mean, we're gonna have a baby next year, so I'm trying to be realistic with what we'll be able to accomplish next year. So I think we'll continue to give this garden a lot of love. Maybe we'll do some like low hoop houses so we can overwinter kale and things like that, but definitely more fruit trees as well. We did 2 persimmon trees that survived. We had apples and pawpaws and things like that, but we didn't really get them from the most reliable source. So I'm gonna order some of those this winter. So more fruit trees, more berry bushes, and it's nice that it's all just for play and for fun. No one's going to starve if the garden's not fruitful, so it can get experimental and yeah.
Such a good friend can be hard to find. Never judge me, only love me. Bring me a voice when I can't find mine.
So many eggs. Look how beautiful that one is. And I love this color too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, look at that one. Look how it like is like a fade.
Ombre.
Yeah, ombre. So last spring I ordered some chicks, and then I ordered more chicks, and then I ordered more chicks, and we have about almost 40 of them. And they're all laying eggs now, so we're just getting tons. Huge abundance of eggs here, and they're so sweet. I noticed that this one in here, when I check on them at night, I count them all each night, and she sleeps in there, but I noticed she's in there now, and so she might be getting broody, so we're gonna have to kind of boot her off the eggs if she's trying to become a mama.
What does broody mean?
Broody just means that they don't get off the eggs. They're like trying to incubate them and bring the little chickies to life.
What happens if they stay sitting on the eggs?
Well, that's why, because we have a couple roosters, you want to get the eggs as soon as possible, because if she's laying on them, that's when you might crack open, a little embryo.
Not what's for breakfast.
I always feel kind of guilty though with the broody hens, not letting them be mamas, but I will next spring. It'll be really cute to watch them. I don't want to incubate them myself. I just want to let them do it, and then they teach the chicks everything and protect them, and it's a really sweet process to watch, but I don't want them to be doing that when it's getting colder out now. But it's good to know one of the hens wants to be a mom. Hi, sweetie. Come on.
She's like, get the fuck off of me.
She got scared. Yeah, see, she's keeping them nice and warm. We don't want that. But I think in certain cultures, that's like a delicacy, right? Is eating a fertilized egg that's almost a chick or something.
Try it and tell me how it tastes.
would. If I was in another country experiencing it. I don't want to do it myself. Luckily, all my chickens are alive.
Change my mind so many times now. I'm not sure that I'm just one guy, but you prove it, you don't lose it. Peace and strength when I can't find.
Where are you sitting right now?
I'm sitting amongst the ducks that are remaining. Over half of them got killed the other night.
What happened?
So, all right, let me provide a little backstory. This is me 5 months ago. Okay, our ducks have arrived. I'm so excited, strangely very excited about our ducks. I think my favorite part about raising ducklings was watching Uma take care of them. Hold to your body. Make it feel loved. Hold it close to your body so it feels safe.
Oh, Uma, that's so sweet.
You really love swimming.
This right here is the first little flock of ours, and they began to get bigger and bigger. So with the help of our friend Josh, we built ourselves a little home for them. Of course, Uma was a huge, huge help. Slide it off, and then use that side, and then watch. Stroke, 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 stroke. Now you try. Slide it. Yep. And it looks like you need some more paint soon. Eventually, the coop was complete, and strangely, mysteriously, somehow, another package arrived on our doorstep.
What's in that box?
Some more baby ducks.
Why do we have more baby ducks?
I woke up in the middle of the night and completely irrationally was like, I need more ducks. Elliot made one like passive comment that was like, oh, why did you get all of the same type of duck? So then I just decided that we needed more, and our cute little duck home was created, and I just wanted more. So it's my weird way of nesting before our baby has arrived. It's just ordering more and more animals to take care of.
I'm a duck mommy. You went down, don't cry, don't cry.
So yeah, we began to raise this little flock up as well, and everything was going well, but the only recurring problem that we had was this flock right here was 3 weeks behind from the other flock of ducks, and it just started to create some challenging power dynamics. And as they got older, some of the ducks got territorial of the coop, and I'd struggle each night trying to get all of them into their home for protection, and yeah, that brings us to today. With that said, some of the ducks must have been out at night and were not protected, which ducks are completely defenseless. They're really vulnerable because they can't fly. But Elliot and I woke up and we both intuitively knew something was wrong because it was actually so quiet and the roosters weren't making their usual noises to wake us up, and I immediately just like ran outside. So I walked out and it was just immediately really grim, and I couldn't find any of the ducks. And so I jumped in here and I saw there were 3 of the cayugas in the pond and nothing else. And so then I really started to panic, and I looked in the coop, and the 4 muscovies they were hiding in there, which is very unusual for them. They just like come out. And then so I ran over to the chickens, and none of them were outside. And I thought, oh my God, they all got killed too. And luckily, they were just all hiding in the coop. So whatever happened must have happened right before we woke up. Yeah, they were all gone. Like a majority of them were all gone. And at first I found no evidence, but I've seen some of the feathers over there. And then the next day it was just like really quiet. And there's something about ducks that feel more mammalian in the sense that they seem more empathetic, and like they make eye contact with you. And the blackbirds over there, the cayugas, they look really depressed. Honestly, I don't know if I'm just like projecting.
obviously like having a homestead, there's animals that are not just in the category of pets anymore. They have like a utility, and there's like a practical element to them being here, both like for the eggs and for the land. But you know, I remember the day these arrived in the mail, Matt rushed to the post office and him and Uma opened the box, and every single day of their life he's been tenderly caring for them, and day in and day out, like sometimes I'll be like, where's Matt? And I'll come outside and I'll see he's just standing at a distance from them and watching them. And the first day they swam in this stream was a pretty big celebratory day in our house because they finally learned to swim and they finally were brave enough to go into the water. So you do become attached to them and their personalities, and in a way they are sort of part of the community on this land. So to wake up one day to half of them being gone, knowing they had a gruesome, maybe intense death, it's just a little unsettling.
Obviously, the main purpose of ducks are for their eggs. Their eggs are far superior to chicken eggs. They're more nutritious, they're more delicious, they're great for baking. And we didn't even get them to that level. They had about a month or two left until they start laying. But like Elliot mentioned, I love chickens, but there's something so charming about ducks. And I think my favorite time, I do feel so emotional. I feel so silly for being so sad about it, but I like do love them so much. And my favorite like part of the day is like after the chaos of getting Uma dressed for school and ready because she makes everything a battle, and getting her in the car and Elliot drives off to take her off to work, my favorite thing to do is just to come out here, and I need to be editing, I need to be studying, I need to be doing these things, but instead I just take like a long chunk of time and just watch them. And I think there's just like something so like peaceful about watching other animals, and it makes me feel really good to like be their caretaker, the same way that I like to think I'm a caretaker for you and for Uma, and try to provide that safe space. And yeah, so I just feel really sad and really bad, and I just love them so much. And I didn't want to cry because I was like, people just don't get it. You know what I mean? It's like when they're embedded so much into your life and so much of your like thoughts and your energy, and they are with you as you process and make sense of this life. So yeah, but we shall go on.
I feel guilty for no reason. In my country, madness takes the throne. Total fear, no imagination. A church of bad faith where the old one grown. Yet I see you in the darkness, looking just like the first time we met. Ferny halo, silver gray glow, spirit leads me, I will not forget.
There's a new day that will come again tomorrow. There's a new day to wash away the pain. There's a new day to take away your sorrow, and the old ways get washed out by the rain. Darling, you've got to keep holding on. I promise you this. If you try to get some sleep, if you give up the fight, if only just for a bit, there's a new day to leave behind your troubles. There's a new day and it will set you free. There's a new day to get you through your struggles. I will always think of you and me. Darling, you've got to keep holding on through the night, 'cause I promise you this. If you try to get some sleep, if you give up the fight, if only just for a bit, there's a new day. It is waiting for us. There's a new day waiting round the bend. There's a new day and it will restore us. There'll be new ways. This is not